welcome, aka Patters. We are on the road to 300. Thank you for joining me. I am Peter A. DeLuca, and if you haven't guessed the audio, we got car sounds, and that's because we're on the road. Car special effects, car engineering. Okay, but we're on the road to 300, and we're talking one of Quentin Tarantino's movies. Because if you read Wikipedia says so. But it's Thunder in Carolina for episode 293 of AKAPAD's Audio Audacity podcast. This is where we do everything pop culture. Let's go. Okay. Hey, welcome back. I'm Peter A. DeLuca, a.k.a. me, a.k.a. White Chocolate, a.k.a. the pop culture Pope. Sketchbook King, YouTuber, Twitterer, IT guy, illustrator, comic book creator, home decorator, because I've been doing a lot of that. Had just still rebounding from a huge move, and had to transport the AKAPAD studio, all that, and then we have COVID-19. Probably COVID-19 by now. And we've had a lot of protests here in Philly. And that's where I'm talking to you from. The city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, PA. And hey, thank you for joining me if it's your first time. Because everything's been growing. And I know I have a lot of new listeners per episode, especially when I crank up the frequency. And that's just one of the hardest things when you embark on this journey is the frequency. My goal was always to hit 1,000. So approaching episode 300, it's fun because I get to kind of do a countdown, but in no way is it a milestone. And, as I even hit, I think, episode 200, I tried to get some of the band, the former contributors back together. I tried to get some of them here. I'm telling you, people sometimes can get motivated only one time. They get motivated once to do something, and that's it. They are done. And they kind of go from motivation to motivation, meaning that, it's like they're somewhat like going towards the high hand. They only want to engage in something new, and they consistently underestimate the power of consistency and the pain of it, and what you have to go through as a creator to get into that zone where you're more worried about the quality of your content, the frequency of it, the technical aspects, than you are about growing an audience and doing all these other things. For me, it's always content first, quality first. These are the aspects, or the dimensions, I'll say, that I believe create a better experience. And that's what I want to do. And along that way, if I can research and discuss and go into a lot of movies that, like in this case, Thunder in Carolina. I don't know why I have trouble saying that. It's pretty much fun. It's a lot of fun to talk to you about a movie that was made in 1960. That, again, as I said in the intro, Wikipedia kind of, Tarantino must have been on record in talking about this movie. And it's a heck of a movie. And being able to do this theme of car racing movies marching into 300. Look, I'm doing a lot of movies that I've never seen. Le Mans, never seen. Grand Prix, never seen. Our next movie, Last American Hero, starring Jeff Bridges, a young Jeff Bridges. That was 1973, I think. So we're going to jump ahead 13 years in cinema meets cars. Okay, and by that I mean we're going to see what the approach is. We're going to see what tropes that could be in that movie. And then, we're going to see where the technology is. Because if there's one genre of film that lends itself to the modern technology of its time or of its era, it's car racing. So this is a much larger gap than what I wanted, because I really wanted to bring everything from like Grand Prix. I was even debating Elvis Presley's Speedway movie, and I wanted to bring it into today, ending with Speed Racer for episode 300, and that's more of a point. Ending it with Speed Racer. The later movies, I'm very well versed on, like coming up, Days of Thunder, Rush, Ford vs Ferrari. But these earlier ones, a little bit stumped and had to watch and rewatch these movies a few times. And that's one of my approaches to this podcast is I'm not just going to watch a movie one time. I'm not just going to dick around to get something done and crank out an episode. A lot of these movies for me, they're experiences because I'm seeing them for the first time. And then, while I'm doing all of this, I'm prepping the next run, and I got the next 2 runs, probably to episode 315, maybe, or we can comfortably say 310 mapped out. So getting back to what I was saying earlier, I'm not into ceremony when I hit milestones. The milestones are merely there for like a gimmick. That's all. Okay, I get to hit 300. Let's do a gimmick. Doing post 300, sure. But I'm kind of in the zone to do threads, to do a run of a movie, a run of an idea, and we're rock and rolling. And look, I know people listen to me, to this podcast. Thank you all. Thank you, AKA Padders, because look, the world's short on ideas, but I do see, some YouTubers and other podcasters maybe riffing on some of my ideas. I'm not going to name names because it's just, I don't know. I'm doing this. They're doing their thing. Not a big deal. But anyway, Rory Calhoun. He's Mitch Cooper. Rory Calhoun, very similar effect of watching this movie that I had with Grand Prix, which is like, my God, people just don't look like this anymore. And Rory Calhoun, amazing. He's so good in this movie. Alan Hale Jr., Buddy Schaefer, awesome. Connie Hines, amazing. Race Gaintree, amazing. This movie's stacked with really good performances. It also has the skipper from Gilligan's Island. He's in this movie. And holy crap, I should know his name, but I don't. But the skipper from Gilligan's Island is in this movie. So what's our story? Now, with Grand Prix, I said, all the tropes are created in that movie. They're established. They're just well defined. And I do stand by that. That's 100% true. This movie deviates from that. And we kind of now have some of the tropes from Grand Prix. The racer obsessed with racing, not just winning, but racing. We have the people trying to pull him away. We have the people trying to push him in. Some of the complexities of the vehicle are well displayed in this movie. I believe we're dealing with 57 Chevys, which is my all-time favorite car also. And, we're marching towards the Carolina 500, which I'm pretty sure, maybe predates the Indy 500. I think that this became the Indy 500. And we're dealing with an old lion that still has its teeth and a young buck, a young Simba, who has ability, that has talent, but he needs to learn. So these two characters end up in a agreement, in a relationship, and we have our movie. Now, I'll tell you right now, this movie isn't about winning. the race at the end. I did a little pause there. Now, that didn't happen for James Garner, and that didn't happen for Steve McQueen. And it's not going to happen for Buddy Schaefer, Alan Hale Jr. Sorry, guys. So this is a trope too, okay? The guy doesn't win at the end. Now, that's going to change in the later movies. But it's standard now. It's a trope now. So, quick side note, this movie is available on Amazon Prime. Now, I was 50-50 too. I was between another movie called Thunder Alley. That was made in 1967, which maybe would have been like a good breaker, like an in-between movie. But that movie isn't really about the car racing industry. And that was one of my requirements up until we hit Speed Racer. But, and it's not really embedded in history. The Southern 500 is a race. It's real. This movie's car focused. And then this movie has just visceral quality of a woman who wants to have a safe life, who's in love with someone who discovers his passion. And she's trying to pull him away. And the veteran is trying to, like this dude is stuck in the middle. Veterans trying to push him towards greatness, so on and so forth. Now, when I was watching this movie, I was anticipating something tragic, like a tragedy. Our senior, Mitch, I'm thinking like he's going to die. He's going to kind of maybe come in at the race at the end, or he'll win, then he'll die in like a car accident after, just something. But that doesn't happen. See, this movie is about racing. And holy crap, it fits the criteria. It falls right in line with the love of racing. So, where's this movie in like quality, production? Like when on that scale. Look, this is a low budget, maybe like C level movie. It's not even like a B movie. It's like a C, whatever. It's just not a top tier movie. We'll just say that. So it's almost like you have studio movies, then you have really like poorly put together, like quick movies, and then everything's in the middle. So this is just in the middle. But the performances, I love the look. I love the way how this movie's shot. I like how it's blocked. The blocking for this movie is very well orchestrated, and you can kind of see they knew where to put the camera with limited resources. So, home run. Now, this movie is directed by Paul Helmick. Now, he has nothing to his name. He's a second unit guy. He's directed 3 movies. Believe it or not, his other movie is, I think it's called like Teenage Thunder. And that's also a car movie. So the guy like cars, and you like the word thunder. And he got good use out of it. But no, look, hey, veteran guy, right? Like in the grind, just making movies, living in, probably just living in California in the 50s and 60s. Okay, awesome. Made a life for himself. So, but that doesn't mean like the things you do, like the things you touch, can't have a level of meaning to it. And this movie is meaningful. It's meaningful because, I feel like we've all been there. Like we've all been in that zone where we're not betting on ourselves. And this movie's about that. It's about betting on ourselves despite everyone around us. And like the woman throughout this movie, like she comes around to go on to the circuit, to kind of go from race to race, hoping to win, hoping to make some extra money, to leave her security. And Mitch Cooper, again, Rory Calhoun, he's like intertwined with 2 women in this movie. There's a really good motel scene where it's him and this other dude's chick. And you just, like, again, like, you're waiting for something like that to happen. And it's like this poof. Very like Tennessee Williams. This struggle that Mitch has with these women. It's like painful. but they're drawn to him, and it's just good. It's just awesome. It's available. Thunder in Carolina is available on Amazon Prime. You better go check it out. Now, our next movie, holy crap. I cannot wait to watch this movie. I was so excited to watch this movie, I nearly did it first. But The Last American Hero, Jeff Bridges, 1973, is coming up next. AKAPAD's Audio Audacity Podcast, episode 293, signing off. And hey, little promotion. INDIEGOGO, Trial by Fire. That's my comic book. If you really want to see me create something else, you can go sign up. And potentially it would be for sale by the time you listen to this. But anyway, rock and roll. I love you. And until next time, keep watching movies.